So
So,
speaking of that, what do we've made some videos about we dropped 3 videos, the big 3 that we know of: Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, and what they have coming out for this year. Now they're all a little bit different, and that's because like Nike gave us the best look at what was coming out, but they didn't give us cleats. We're still working on that. That's a tricky one. But we got like the gloves in our hands, all that stuff. We're going to talk a lot about that coming
mhm.
up when they drop all that stuff in February.
Yep.
Adidas dropped all new cleats and gloves and stuff, and it's kind of like it's like a little bit underwhelming in a way where they're like, oh, we're rebranding all this stuff, and it feels like a whole launch, but in like reality, it's like some of it's new, but some of it's old, but just rebranded. And
Yeah.
then Under Armour, but even like Adidas, like in their catalog, they gave like a lot deeper photos and examples and like theory around like why they're doing things and like what it represents. And then Under Armour kind of did the least amount of stuff as far as changes and also like how they presented it, and like what we know about it. So, the videos obviously in order did views wise, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, which makes sense based on the content and, popularity wise, a Nike video will always do better than Adidas, and Adidas will always do better than Under Armour. I guess I shouldn't say always because Under Armour used to be king of the castle like 15 years ago.
Yep.
So who knows? But at least right now, it's like we put out anything Nike, we know it'll do better than anything Adidas, or you know, anything Adidas will probably do better than anything Under Armour. It's just the way it is, at least from our perspective.
Yep.
But so, what are you most excited about? Let's talk gloves first. So, Under Armour
Yeah.
has here. I got them all open here.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so we got the Under Armour catalog here. Let's see, we got the Adidas catalog here. I got to go this way. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. To locker room. So Adidas has 2 gloves. We got the 13.0, which is last year's model. I actually literally have one on my desk. Same thing. So they still have the 13.0s, but now they
Yeah.
have the Adidas 13 Electric. So I guess we'll start. What are your? We also have the Adidas Adizero Impact, which is it's literally the Freak 6.0, just rebranded. They didn't
Yeah.
change the palm graphics, nothing. It's literally identical. So nothing.
Yeah. Same
And
glove.
same with the Freak Max are now called Chaos. Again, identical.
Yeah. I mean,
So
yeah.
Adidas gloves.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it too much because I know we just did a whole video on it, but it's weird how they've, reorganized all their different things. Now everything is considered Adizero, and then the electric is the light stuff. The impact is the big skill stuff, and then the chaos is the lineman stuff, right? Or is it the other way around?
Yep. No, you got it.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of weird, but so basically, you saw that Zeros Freaks and Freak Max, but it's the same stuff. But the Eddie Zeros look pretty cool. I didn't look at them too long. I just kind of looked at the catalog quickly during one of our meetings, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." But the part that was kind of crazy, aren't they $70?
$70 it says for MSRP.
$70 is insane for a skilled receiver glove. I don't think I've ever seen a skilled glove that was $70 besides the. Do you remember the Under Armour Luxe? That was like a leather back of hand glove.
No.
Yeah, they were weird. They were $70. They were like a luxury football glove. That it didn't work out. I don't think I've ever seen a pair worn anywhere. They were like a weird. They were
How
like a
much
tan
is the
leather
Jordan
back of
Flylock?
hand. The Jordan Flylock. I want to say it was 65, but if it might be 70.
Is it? Yeah,
65,
because like
yeah.
the closest thing is Jordan, because that's it used to be the same as Nike before they changed it, but like back when you were buying like Jordan Vapor Jets, it was literally just a rebadged Nike Vapor Jet, but you were paying a premium for the Jordan logo, and it was
Yep.
like $5 or $10 more than the Nike Vapor Jet. So it's like when I see $70, I think of like, damn, they might be over top of Jordan, which since they joined football has been known as like the most expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Jordan Flylock, the regular colorways retail for 65, and then some of the like more exclusive colorways like the Hyper Grape or whatever is $70. So
Yeah.
they are up there as well, for the high end or high colorway, I guess, models. But But $70 for some Addy Zeros is, or Energy, whatever they are, then Energies is
Electric.
absurd
I
to
called
me.
it. I dude. I
Like,
realized I called it energy and everything, and then I was editing it. I was like, oh frick, it's electric.
dang. Oh
Yeah,
well. They both
it's
start with E.
it's
We'll get it. It's gonna take everybody some time to adjust to that. That's gonna be weird. Trying to,
it's kind of like the
eh,
same strategy as Apple, where they'll always offer last year's stuff still at a lower price point of like something you're used to, and
yeah,
then they'll have the newest thing is like a laptop used to be like $1,500, and then it was like 1,800, and then it was like absurd when it was over 2,000. Now it's like for M3 or whatever, 2,300 starting, but it's like to actually get what you want, it's like 2,800, right?
yeah.
But same thing with iPad. You'll still be able to get a shitty, iPad for $500, but the one you
Yeah.
want is really 1,200. And it's definitely a little weird that they kept the 13.0s. Um,
Mhm.
Actually, to be honest, the only weird thing to me, because I get it from a like a price band strategy to maybe have the cheaper one still, because it
Yeah.
was kind of ahead than the other stuff. Because they had the 13.0s last year, but now they have that was kind of off from the 12.0, so they're trying to like resynchronize. Um, I personally don't understand why they called it the Electric 14 to signify it's the 14th glove
Hmm.
when the cleats are not called the Electric. Technically, the cleats would be the Electric 13, but to make them
Yeah.
a sync, they should both be 14. It's just the cleats missed a year. So I don't really know why they called it the Electric 14s and why they didn't just call it the Electric. Um, but I also don't know what they're going to do next year. Is it going to be called the Adizero Electric 2 for the cleat, but then the glove will be the Electric 15? Like I
Yeah.
just they took the number away from every other product, but then they left the
Mhm.
14 on that one specific thing, and it feels confusing to me about how they'll handle it next year.
Yeah, Adidas has always kind of bothered me with the way they number their products. Ever since they skipped their number 9 at a zero, they went
Yeah.
from 8 to X, just like Apple did. I talked about it a bunch. It always bothers me. Um, and ever since then, because they did the gloves, like some people were calling the gloves the Addy Zero 9, but then the cleat version was the Addy Zero X because it was the 10th
Yeah.
generation of Addy Zero cleat. I don't know. Adidas has always done that. It's always confusing, and now they've just made it even more confusing, which I didn't know was possible. But whatever.
Yeah. Also, I noticed I really hope they don't do it. My favorite cleats, and like I've said this like how many times, my favorite cleat is the Freak Prime Knit.
Yep.
I love Freak Prime Knit cleats. Like, and this year it looks like there isn't one because
Really?
they have so they have the electric. The electric plus is the Prime Knit version, so it's the equivalent of the 13. If it would be a 13.0 and a 13.0 PK. Last
Mm-hmm.
year they had the Freak 23s, and then again, this is the confusing part as well. Is they call the Adizero Prime Knit version the Adizero 12.0 Prime Knit, but for the Prime Knit version of the Freaks, they call it the Freak Ultra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always been tough to follow.
So I didn't understand because I was like, why wouldn't you just call it the Freak 23 Prime Knit? Because then it's and even like with Prime Knit, it has boost. Or sorry, the Ultra. Maybe it's because the Ultra also has boost in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same traction plate. Like it's just a little. Regardless, my favorite cleats I've ever worn are the Freak 21 Ultras. They came out like really late. They came out in like September in like only a couple colorways. There was like an all black with like a rainbow iridium traction plate. And it had
Yeah.
like a hazard sign on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love those
I
things.
saw those. They were on sale for like
The Freak,
$40. I
yeah,
bought some.
the Freak 22s for coaching, still my favorite cleats to coach in because of the laceless. And
Yeah.
this year's I also really enjoyed. So to see that there's no Adidas at a zero Impact Plus would be the Prime Knit version of it. So to see that they dropped that product, that's kind of depressing.
That's a
Also,
little weird to
I
me.
guess one
Yeah.
Adidas does not have a lot of athletes right now. They have Patrick, Travis Etienne, Kadarius Tony, Juju. Um, Trevor Lawrence, is he an Adidas
Yeah.
athlete?
Yeah.
Right. So they don't have a massive roster, but they have the biggest guy in the league, Patty
Yeah.
Mahomes.
They got Tua
He
too.
wears the ultras.
Yeah,
He
that
wore
was
the
where I was
freak.
gonna go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, he wore the Freak 21 ultras. When they came out with the Freak 22, the laceless, he skipped it. Wore the Freak 21s for another year,
hmm
and then oh no, they changed it from ultra to inline last year. Wasn't it called the Freak 23 inline instead of ultra?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
just remember there was
last year was
Freak
the
and
inline.
Freak Ultras.
I think it was the whatever. Anyways, Patrick Mahomes switched to those, so he
Yeah.
upgraded once they got past the laceless, right? So, like, what is he gonna wear next year or the year after that? Is he gonna stay in the 23 inlines? I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, I think Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua all wear the same cleat. And if that's all the prime knit version, oh no, Trevor Lawrence is in the regular one. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to kill the cleat, your most prevalent player wears. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I even noticed they were making a custom. I don't know if it was, but I saw a video. Let me find this thing. This was actually a cool video. We weren't going to talk about this, but I don't know if you saw this video of. Let's go. Who posted this? Someone posted this yesterday. I don't think it was Sports Dissected. Um, no, damn it. Bleacher Report? No, I can't remember.
What are you
Someone
looking for?
posted a video. Sorry? Someone posted a video of Penix Jr. getting at the Adidas facility, getting his feet 3D printed for cleats to give him
Hmm,
custom cleats. I don't remember who.
that's cool. I didn't
Oh,
know that.
GQ. Okay, yeah, it's GQ. All right, I got it.
Oh, GQ. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They get all the
GQ. Where are
access,
you?
man.
Yeah, they get all the stuff that we don't.
Jealous.
GQ Sports. It can't be that long ago. It was a day ago. Reels?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too, but I don't see it.
Maybe it just like popped up for me and it's old.
Maybe.
Okay. Anyways, they posted a video of Penix at the Adidas facility getting his feet custom mapped for cleats. And on their wall of cleat samples they had for him was the Freak 23 inline with laces, which is like a Patrick Mahomes spec. Was basically like he wanted the laced version of that cleat.
Yeah.
So that they're clearly still making it. So I don't know.
Yeah, but from like a
I'm not
business
quite sure what they're
standpoint,
doing.
it doesn't make a ton of sense to have an athlete like that wearing a cleat that the public can't get their hands on. That's just bad business. Because you want your influential athlete to influence, and if he's wearing a cleat the public can't get, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't remember, but did the Freak 22 Ultra exist in their like fall catalog that year? Because I remember one day it was just Jalen Ramsey was at Rams training camp in these laceless football cleats, and I was like, "What the hell are those?"
Yeah, that's a good
And then they
point.
dropped in that electric colorway like a month later to the public, and we got them.
Yeah, I can't remember. It might have been
I
like
don't know.
in there as a word, but no like diagram of the cleat or anything. That's happened
Mm-hmm.
before.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah,
Okay, so Adidas got to get used to the new names, a couple new products. Still curious to see how it all performs, but yeah, I just every year I want a new lineman glove. That's kind
hmm
of always my opinion on a lot of stuff. Is just give me a new lineman glove. Show me
well,
you're trying.
you know who's got a new lineman glove, right? Nike.
Who,
So
Devin?
Nike's got a bunch of gloves that they're going to drop finally. They've been kind of slacking, honestly, in all phases of Nike football. But they've got a whole bunch of new gloves. We have the Nike VaporJet 8, which we have a video showing all of this stuff. You guys want to go check it
Mm-hmm.
out. We have a Superbad 7. And then we have the DTAC 7. So there's your lineman glove, and they've kind of overhauled, the DTAC especially. It's totally different. Comes in a lot of cool colorways. Um, I think we've talked about it when it was first getting leaked a little bit, maybe on the podcast, maybe not. I don't know. Either
Yeah,
way,
we I had harsh. This is when I was like mid last year. I was calling for the downfall of Nike
yeah,
because I was just like, uh, I was looking at stuff and I was like, man, I'm kind of done because I was like, because the DTAC leaked and it looked identical, but with just a Nike logo on the pinky.
yeah,
I remember Alabama was wearing them. There were some other teams testing them. And some, I don't think there was a lot of NFL at that point, but it was mostly college.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, we have no new cleats. Nothing new has dropped cleat wise. We haven't had a new DTAC in like 6 years. And they're going to drop it at some point. And the only difference I can visually see is the Nike logo on the pinky. And so I was calling for like Nike's head like halfway through last year.
Yeah,
But the new DTACs are cool. There's a lot of changes, a lot of
mm-hmm.
new colorways. The
Especially yeah,
padding is still very similar, but it's
mm-hmm.
better.
Yep,
Um, and the palm print, the fact that they figured out how to print on the palms for a lineman glove and have the durability is cool.
yeah, that's pretty exciting. Finally linemen get some cool stuff, and then a lot of colorways are the mismatched swag energy colorways as well. So you get some bright colors, not just like base red, blue. You get the cool stuff, which is something linemen have never really had in my experience. So
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting for you guys.
Yep. That'll be like I said, I just like the DTAC was really cool when it came out because at that point it was available in like a bunch of colorways.
Yeah,
But year over year, as they DTACs became harder and harder to find and harder to find in the original team colorways, they did black, white, red, blue, which for lineman gloves was a big deal to have team colorways. But then like over the years, it just got harder and harder to find them, which was
yeah,
frustrating. So even like I said, even if technically the changes aren't that big, at least they'll be stock. But we
yeah.
do know that there are some pretty cool changes that I'm very curious
Yeah, they
about.
really did drag out the old 6.0, but this year, man,
Yeah.
2024, they heard us. They said we're going to do one of every single glove. They're all synced up now. I don't know if they'll stay that way. It'd be kind of cool if they did. The VaporJet 8 is really cool. It's pretty similar to the last one, but they've made some key upgrades. It feels lighter. It's more flexible. Same Magnet Plus palms, really good. And then the Super Bads also feel lighter. Similar back of hand material, Magnet Plus palms. But they have a much lighter feel. I think the
Yep.
pads on the back of hand are just a little bit thinner. So you get a lot more dexterity. And like I said, it just feels lighter. So good stuff. Honestly, I'm very excited, to get them in my size and be able to test them. And then they've got women's stuff too. So any women watching this, you guys get your own sizing. Like it's not just men's stuff, sized down. It's a true like women's sized football gloves, which is really cool. And
Yeah.
then there's also the cold
Honestly, the
weather.
one I'm most excited for of everything. Oh, yeah. Are you there? Oh, you cut out a bit. I was
What?
gonna say
The
the
cold weather.
yeah cold
Yeah.
weather of anything coming out this year that we know of so far. Nike, we're gonna talk about. I think we'll have time. Maybe we'll see. But Nike definitely has some cool cleats coming out next year to be excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But by far, right now, the most excited I am about anything is the cold weather vapor jets.
Yep. Absolutely. Because we've been wanting,
But yeah,
us.
so we got that.
I think we're cutting out a little bit, but regardless, both of us live in cold climates. Come towards the end of the season, it gets pretty chilly. So to have a cold weather glove that's available to the public is going to be really sweet. It used to just be, an NFL team issue thing, but now we're going to be able to get our hands on them, which is going to be awesome.
Yep. Did you ever, growing up, have to do the surgical glove trick?
I know about it, but I never did it myself. No,
No?
never.
Oh, that was
I
a
saw
daily.
I saw somebody in the NFL doing it recently, and I'm like, wow, that's sick.
Yeah.
Forgot who it
Blue
was.
not even surgical gloves. It could be like any neoprene or whatever the
Just
material
rubber
is. Like
gloves.
gloves, you literally buy a 10 pack at Home Depot of like the blue gloves, and you just put those underneath your normal gloves. And like there was a certain temperature that was good till, and then that got tough.
Uh,
Um, but it never really, you couldn't like fully have dexterity in your fingers because of like the restriction of it. And but hopefully, um, I'm excited to see how these new like the 2-piece liner and stuff works. I think it's gonna be cool.
yeah, no, I'm really excited. Nike, like, finally, they've kind of just overhauled everything, and they're bringing a lot of cool stuff to the table.